as, a carry as. So, um, I'm here today just talking to my boy about some like real talk, like real shit that's going on. And I don't understand why there's just a lot of things that we just blatantly brush off of our shoulder. Like we never really think about it afterwards, and then until it happens again, and then that's when we truly get upset. So, like on a wake up daily basis, we were just talking about people on how we wake up in the morning and try to figure out shit. Like, for example, tourists. Number one, tourists. Like some tourists that actually come to my town or my city, and they just blatantly only come here because they have nothing to do at their city or their town or their residence of living. So they decide to come out here to look at things that they actually, hey, I'm gonna go out there and just enjoy myself. But they never truly stay to actually figure out the New York lifestyle. They never truly stay. Why? Because they just rather spend their money and then leave. And it's true. They spend their money and leave. They really just spend their money and leave. Like they'll never stay and just actually stay here to get fat. That's how I see it. Like if you stay here, you just become fat. Cause
Hey, I
everything,
think
huh?
tourists are usually on the move though. I never heard of tourists staying in one spot.
It,
But I get what you mean. Like, but they don't take like a. But it seems also what you're saying is they don't take like a vacation. They don't stay a few weeks. Like they're here, and then 2 days later they're over there. Another day later they're over here.
Cabal
It's
wins.
like it's if anything, they seem to be more on the plane than they stay on the fucking ground.
they really do. Like some of them actually come here by boat, which is crazy. Like that that to me is just insane. Like we're gonna come from Chicago to like New York on a boat. Like what? Bro, like just take a plane off of that. Oh, I'm scared to fly. Like, all right, cool. I am too. I am petrified of getting into the sky with an aircraft that's willing to just break over the winds that are out there in the atmosphere. So yeah, I'm terrified, but I'm also seasick. I get seasick like there's no tomorrow. So I have a choice. I have a choice.
If anything, I think water is worse than flight. I think water is way worse than flight because there's more danger. There's way more danger in the water versus you. Like it's a lot harder for somebody to jump out of a plane or the pilot. If the main things that happen is what's it called when a plane malfunctions? Turbulence.
Yeah.
There's
Sure, I
turbulence.
write
Well,
you
I don't think
hiring,
that's
Scorpion?
that's a lack
We're
of control. I
family,
think that's what
not
turbulence
mercenaries.
is. Or
Too
yeah,
bad. I'm not
turbulence.
looking
Or
for
there's
family.
components that
Round
went wrong in
one.
the plane,
Fight.
or some. It's one of those two things that will prevent uh the flight going as it should, or in being in danger. But unlike boats, uh, weather's a big factor. You have to avoid water currents, especially if maybe a yacht won't be affected by it. I never heard of that happening before. But if you got a small boat and you're near current, you're fucked. It's gonna pull you in, drag you under, and something just might devour you there.
You know
Or
what?
there's a creature that could turn over your fucking boat, which I've heard sharks have done that um, very often. I don't know about what other sea animals have done that, or ocean animals that have done that. But that does happen. There's flesh-eating bacteria in those fucking waters.
See, this is
It's
exactly
salty, like
why
Finish
this
him.
is exactly why I don't travel I don't go anywhere that has to deal with going over water. Like, like, yeah, a plane, yeah, but like the the percentage of that actually happening is very slim to none, very slim. And but when you're out on the ocean, you never know. Like you can be on a boat and the captain couldn't be paying attention, and you hit an iceberg, just like the Titanic. You know, so like I'm Gucci. I'm Gucci on that. That's just not gonna happen. And then like you said, there are creatures out there that can really like tip over your boat, like a great white or a fucking kraken. You'll never know if that thing is real. Like I hear it all the time. Like, oh, kragens are not real. They're just mythical creatures. Da da da. Nigga, do you know what's in the depths of the earth? Like, I'm sorry. Like, do you really know?
They got tentacles, right?
Yeah.
Like octopuses?
Yep.
So what are they, just a bigger version, or?
They're just a giant squid.
Mm.
It's a giant squid with a beak ready to eat you.
Jeez.
Like I'm good on that. I'm like I like if that happens, I'm gonna be reading my Bible until like the boat sinks. That's pretty much it.
There was a story that I heard of, and yeah, there's a boat sinking that could happen, or somebody could do some dumb shit. They probably were on the lowest floor. And you know, that's one thing I don't get about boat designs. Why does, well, you know, for the sake of having a view, they want to put like glass windows and shit so you could see, whatever. But sometimes people break fucking glass that waters on the ship, or they break something falls somewhere, pierces, punctures the ship, makes it sink. It's like, what the fuck are you gonna do when it sinks? There's no alternative when boats sink. You have no choice but to drown. Like that's literally all you can do. I heard one guy miraculously, I don't know how the fuck he did this, but the ship went to sea that down to the sea floor, but surprisingly, for some reason, it didn't flood the whole ship. Something about how, so it's one thing within the moment of all of that happening, is just, that's fucking overwhelming. You're not gonna be thinking about what fucking path the water is taking. Well, it could help you survive, but you have seconds to react. That's if you could even move, because, you know, water is going to be pushing you every fucking direction it would. Plus, the objects just might puncture you, and there people die like that too. It's not even the water that kills them, it's the objects that the water just pushes so fucking hard, and they just get knocked out cold. Somehow he miraculously survived. He swam, no, it pushed him through a hallway, and there was like a door that it was open because of the fucking blunt force. He went in there, but there was water in there too, but it wasn't to ceiling level. And surprisingly did not break the glass. Nothing hit it. He had to stay there for at least 2 or 3 days. I don't even know how the fuck they even knew he was in there. I don't even know how they knew there was a survival. It was just wild. It was ridiculous. He nearly got hypothermia because, you know, that water's fucking cold and he's nowhere near sunlight. So he survived without food for at least 2 to 3 days in this ocean.
Like, yeah,
Shirai Ryu
like
hiring Scorpions?
like my whole
We're
family came from
family,
the
not
Caribbean islands.
mercenaries.
I'm not. No, I'm just like no. I can't even survive that, bro. Like you're under. How long was he underwater?
It's something between 60 and 72 hours. No, yeah, no, 48
No,
to 72.
no,
48 to 72 hours.
no
Like,
scuba diving gear at all. Nothing.
no.
That
he
that
could,
that nigga's
he
Superman.
could, but that's what I'm saying. He runs the risk of his room overflow. Well, he has to be, if he did by any chance do that, he has to be extremely careful what path he takes and how he takes it.
Yeah, cause the
You know,
water's
because
dark.
that could mean him, because yeah, there's that, but there's also the factor of if he opens this door, if it could open at all, uh now there's more flood water just coming in. Now he just cut his oxygen supply. You know what I'm saying? So if he did do that, he has to be very cautious of the path he takes. But then I think there was the possibility, hey, there might be fish in this room, there might be piranhas in that room. Water, the flood water might come in if I open this, if I go through here, if I move this object out the way. It's a fucking miracle that they found this man. I think it was a submarine.
Oh my god, yo, this shit is annoying. Like, I don't understand this. Life just has a whole shitload of mysteries.
Can't anyone stop me?
Like, you know what? You know what I want to see? You know what I want to see? I want to see somebody like literally survive a volcano.
Do you hear what you're saying?
No, bro. If it's possible, it's possible.
Do you know how much heat that is?
That's a lot of heat. I know. I'm just saying, bro. If your foot gets scorched, alright, cool, whatever. You survived. That's all that matters.
But I think that comes with severe infection.
True.
I don't know what that is, but even then, if they get their foot scorched, it's not gonna stay as their foot gets scorched. That could be plus an infection spreading through their body. Therefore, they died anyways. I don't know what it'd be called or what it is, but that you're gonna have lava or rock within your flesh. You're gonna catch something. You're gonna fucking catch something. Any foreign object that gets in your flesh, you're gonna get something.
Oh my god, yo, this shit is annoying. I'm sorry. Like,
Got the spins.
have you ever played a game? Well, of course you have. Of course you played a game that has like some fucking combo that's just like, hey, yo, let me just do this like 17 times over so you can get upset. Oh my god! Are you kidding me? Oh my god! Alright, you know what? Let me take a shot. That was utterly bullshit. And then apparently I'm over here walking and I stepped in my dog's shit.
What the fuck?
Yeah, like after I clean it up, I get dog shit on my foot.
So you gotta clean it again.
Yeah, I gotta clean it again.
Oh, jeez.
But this doesn't change the whole subject. This really doesn't change the subject. Like, all right, the shit that really bothers me is that some dude, some tourist came to New York City, right? Just so he can try to attempt to jump off the Empire State Building.
He came all the way to New York just to do suicide.
Just to jump off one of the highest, tallest buildings that there is. And to mind you, like I've been to the Empire State Building a couple of times. It is impossible to get to the roof.
How did he do it?
Apparently, he snuck by security. I don't know how you do that because like it's a stairway, like literally the stairway is like open to you. Like you can literally walk past the whole way, and there's like this big tunnel with a bunch of stairs heading up to the roof.
So what the fuck was surveillance doing? Yeah, these
The
people
hell
I
if I
can't,
know.
bro.
This was early.
Oh,
This was early
God.
2000, like early 2000, late to 90, late 90s.
But can you even breathe properly up there?
You can.
Good.
It's not like touching like the atmosphere. Like it's like pretty much. It's pretty much like how can I say? 20, like 20,000 feet below the atmosphere. It's hard. Don't get me wrong, it's hard, but you can still breathe. Let's just say if you drop a penny from up there, you can kill somebody.
Yeah, I heard.
I'm sorry. Like I'm really sorry. I don't want to sound like a dick, but I kind of want to try that. Not onto a person, like you know, one of those like flesh dummies. Like I want to throw a penny to the flesh dummy to see like how impactful is that. Cause like, isn't pennies copper? Copper is heavy, right?
It is.
Cause like, I really want to see like one small ass penny, like one tiny little penny, can kill somebody from that height. I want to see what a quarter can do. I want to see what a $50 can do. And that's supposed to be gold.
That's awful.
Yo, I really hate speed.
Shouldn't have gone up against
really
us.
We should have finished it, Cabal.
A mistake you're gonna pay for.
Not surprised. What the fuckery they do out here? You know, when I was young, I heard a lot of people would say that. They're like, oh, they hate people. And I never understood what they meant when they said they hate people, because I would took it as like, as for what it is, they hate people. I was like, so, but yet, I'm confused because you're talking to people right now. So how could you hate us too? And they're like, no. It's like, so what do you mean? And they got annoyed or didn't care to elaborate. So then, like, but now now I really see what they mean when they say they hate people. Like, it's the fuckery that people do. It's the deception that they put up. The ones that they thought they could trust is like, oh, you're the one that did this to me. It's like, now you have to exclude the filter this person out too.
Oh, don't get me started. Like, oh man, you were, you know what? You were in the whole situation 2 days ago, weren't you?
Something happened 2 days ago?
Yeah. Oh,
What happened?
were you in Boss's party?
Yes, but something, you had a conflict with Boss again?
Well, not a conflict with her, but with a person who was on the phone with her. Talking into everybody.
And who was that?
Oh man, if only I can give names on what's this broadcast. If only I can give names on broadcast.
Okay.
So
I know this person, huh?
yeah, you do. But apparently this person, this gentleman here, like, thinks that, you know, I'm a little like on the soft side.
Sub-Zero.
Which is sadly mistaken. So, yeah, because of this person, I was like, so say shit in my face, like, say it in my face, and like, he's like, I don't want the cops to be called.
Kano put a price on your head.
Did you come to inform me?
You heard what
I'm here to collect.
It's fucking dumb. What could they even do? Fucking dumb.
I was about to go, but then I was like, oh yeah, wait, I remember, I'm on something. Like, I'm on probation, so I can't do anything. So I'm like, alright, so like, whatever the case may be, whatnot. So, good friends of mine remind me that if I've done anything, not only that it's not worth it, like, it's just really not worth it, but I would have suffered the consequences double time.
Fight.
So I appreciate that. I give a shout out to those.
That's a scratch.
They really force people to be passive. Like, they just want you to bow and put your fucking head down. I'm not just talking about this person. When I say this.
Are you kidding me? Oh my god, this shit is annoying.
Finish him.
I don't understand why they gotta make things so difficult. It's like life isn't as difficult as it is already. Do you have to make a game that people like so freaking hard?
I run faster than you can catch.
You are skating on
Hey, do you see what I'm playing?
More like speed skating.
Round one. Fight.
Do you see what I'm playing?
You play that Neo thing.
The game that had a bunch had a bunch of traps and all that shit.
Which I still don't know why you play that shit. I would've totally just been like, yo, fuck this game. I would've went back to the store. I I bought it and just be like, yo, give me my money back. Stop with the fucking. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. This is annoying. This is annoying. I don't know how people do it. I don't know how people do it. I don't understand. I don't understand how people on this planet figure out things. Wait, now that I think about it, do you honestly think that places
put a price on your
in
head.
other planets
Did you
have
come
video
to
games?
inform me?
I'm here to collect.
How likely would that be? That is. Oh. Oh god. No, that's. I don't know how likely that is.
Slice and dice.
This is like seriously. There is, however, a theory about parallel universes. Like, there might be another Earth with the same people, but living different lives. Like, the life that you have here wouldn't be the life you have over there. Different events would play out in the parallel universe versus here.
See, I kind of want to see. Hold on. Come out. Come on. You can do it. You motherfucker. Okay, there we go. Like, I kind of want to see my parallel self. Cause myself right now, like I'm in the in between. I'm in the in between of being good and bad. If the motherfucker's like, oh, I know you, and I was like, yeah, can you help me? I was like, yeah, like help you with what? You know, control the world.
This is Dragon Ball Z. Destroy the world.
Destroy yourself. Fuck you, Billy.
Scorpion.
Oh yeah, I don't know if a lot of people out there are really noticeable about this, but they are talking about bringing back Billy and Mandy.
They want to bring back everything from 2000s.
Yeah, like there was talk about Dexter's Laboratory. There was talk about Johnny Bravo. There was talk about Double Dare.
Don't suppose
and I'm
you
like,
teach me
yo,
that
if
rope
y'all bring
spin.
that back, then
And divulge, should I
might
allow
as
you
well have me
secrets?
watching.
I can make you share, Scorpion.
Or they might as well bring
Fight.
Hanna-Barbera back.
They should bring Alex Smack back. I don't know if you remember that show. Like, this chick, her name is Alex Smack, but she got into like some scientific experiment type of thing, and she can liquefy her body.
What the fuck?
Yeah, she can liquefy her body. So I was like, ah! Since then, that's been like my favorite show. You mother. How like the accuracy of Aaron Black's shooting is like retarded.
Brutality.
To the nether realm with you.
Scorpion wins.
Like, how often do you have to practice to get to shoot coins in mid-air just so they can ricochet off the coins into your eyes? Like, the accuracy has to be like pinpoint.
Yeah, that's whoever did that was a mathematician.
Had to be, really.
Hmm. That was way too calculated.
Wait, yo, bro, way too calculated. Like, and then he has the ability to throw a gun, ricochet off your face, catch it. How? How is that possible? I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try it. Since you were the fastest with Cassie Cage, I'm gonna try to be faster.
Kung Lao.
Yo, oh my god, yo. Oh my god. People. Just people.
One hat man to another. Cool hat.
But your hat is no weapon.
Well, that's just weird, Kung Lao.
Round one. Fight.
Are you serious? Yup. I died. I put up a good fight, but hey, my Kung Lao is not that, flawless. Like I hate it when they do that, when they put you up against
One hat man to another.
a character that's a pretty OP,
But your hat
and then you
is
pick
no
your
weapon.
strong
that's just
character,
weird,
and then
Kung
still
Lao.
like
Round one.
they pull something out of their hat. Like when you play Neo, doesn't the enemy pull something out of their fucking ass?
Yes,
Like
they
just
do.
like something, like not even just like a move, like a freaking move. Nah, but they have to do like a 70 hit combo that takes all away your health. It just takes your health all away.
Oh, you should see the boss I'm fighting. Like,
The
Neo
giraffe thing?
has... No. Giraffe thing.
Yeah, like it was like a centipede giraffe thing.
Oh, you're talking about Shadows Die Twice.
Oh, okay, that's that game. Alright.
I know I've been, but you know what's funny? that game was considered a difficult game as well. But compared to Neo, that game is fake as fuck. Like, seriously, it is. People were crying and saying they couldn't get through. Matthew talking about that shit is impossible. I said, nigga, what, have you lost your mind?
Kung Lao.
Bro,
That game is not
Matt doesn't know difficult. Try playing chess against somebody who is like a fucking computer. No, not gonna happen. Like, yeah, I'm okay at chess, but when you face a master at chess, bro, just put down your king, bro. Just forfeit. Like, I figure out like games like that you play and stuff like that, and like a lot of people do. You have to play it like it's chess. Like you literally have to play it as it's like, oh, like what's my next move? All right, cool, whatever the case it may be. But once that's done, like once that's all said and done, like you start to figure out like, oh, like how things are supposed to go. Like if you play like for example Street Fighter, and you think about it as chess, like you're already a king at the character that you're playing. Once you do that, like it's impossible to get to you. It's just impossible. But then, like, if you're just a newbie and you think that you're gonna face somebody that's at level 3,000 off rip, thinking that you're just gonna beat them, you're sadly mistaken.
You see, that's what. If you were there yesterday, that's what that nigga at work needs to hear for examples. That is an ego right there. What you just named right there is an ego. People who have a delusional self-image about themselves, they're so full of themselves, they think nobody can beat them. They're just unstoppable. They can do this, they can do that, while you can't do shit about it. They think they act like they run the world, and they think they're king or queen. Like, no, like, just like how you said, the guy just started a fucking game, you gonna beat somebody with that much experience? Like, fucking forget it. You're delusional. You're fucking delusional.
I'm not even gonna front on you. Like the very first time I've ever played, what's the name of this game with Nathan Drake? Uncharted. The first time I've ever played Uncharted, like, oh yeah, I'm the master of parkour. Blah blah blah. What happened? I died. Thought I was yeah. I played Mad Mirror's Edge. Yeah, I got this game. Went to go throw for a rope. Died. Never again would I think I'm that fucking I'm that nice. This is Job Alert US. Now accepting applications for nightly stalker jobs. Now you send me everything else. Everything else. Like now you send me a stalker job overnight. Just fucking stupid. When you actually start putting applications for things that you know that you want, you just know that you want, like, oh well, why you want to be a stalker? Because like I like putting things on the shelf. Like that's what I like to do. Oh, you're lame, da da da. Okay, I can be lame, but you're not gonna do it, right?
Man, fuck people and their opinions. Like, they always got some.
Like, no, seriously, they always got something stupid to say. It's not even smart. It's just dumb. They always got something dumb to say. like for example, like take this for example. A lot of people say that, oh, you shouldn't drink early in the morning. Okay. Are you me? Are you going through the same bullshit that goes through my mind? Yeah. But oh, you should just have a smoke, da da da, you know, calm your mind, blah blah blah, whatever. All right, give me the money. You know, I said this and my phone goes off. That's how you know it's the truth. Like, for example, like, oh, this wonderful person, you know the guy.
Mm-hmm.
So, me being a good friend, I'll be like, hey, listen, I know you're not getting work, whatever. Like, you know, this is when I was a friend. Like, hey, like, you should go back to Starbucks. Oh, I don't want to go back to Starbucks. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. Like, I want to do construction. And this and that. But you're not getting any type of work from construction. If you're not getting work from a job that you desperately want, like, does that even make sense? Does 2 to 2 like literally not compute there? Like, all right, me, I like being a stalker. Not stalker, but you know, stalker. Like, I like to put things on the shelves. And they said, oh, like, yo, you should do front of the house, back of the house. Like, dude, that's not my type of thing. I don't like cleaning buildings. I really don't like cleaning buildings.
That's dangerous too. That's real dangerous.
Not what I call it, but
Or they be going up on the, I don't even know what they call that equipment that they're on high ground and shit, and they're wiping windows and all that.
I ain't going on no damn scaffold. You out your damn mind. You out your mind if you think a 6'3" guy is gonna stand on a scaffold that's meant for like
I only need
a 5'9"
Round
dude.
2.
No, that's not gonna happen.
I don't do that shit either. You know this is a dangerous job? What I'm curious about, how in the fuck do road rangers, especially on the highway, put out even attempt to put out any type of barricade or cone? Like, to get, is that insane? How do you even attempt to do this shit? How do you prep that shit up as a car is going 70 plus at you?
Fatality. Johnny Cage
I don't even know.
wins.
Like the only safe job that I see construction workers doing is a flagman. Easiest job. Oh, you're trying to drive this way, but we're doing construction. Please turn this way. Thank you. Mad easy.
But is that all they do? They do that all day, or do they have
that
other
all
duties?
day. They do that all day. Getting paid $2,000 plus just to tell people which way to drive? What? You don't need to tell me twice. Seriously. And then, let me get a little bit off topic. I go to this program, right, for people with, you know, disabilities and whatnot.
You have the blood of ancient
You know what really irks me?
Defender of Earthrealm.
That people in that in that
Do not
like
shame your
field of
ancestors.
work don't take their jobs fucking seriously.
You see, this, you bring up an interesting subject, like, because there are people who are, y- there's this bullshit going around as EEO, equal opportunity employer, about no forms of discrimination. I'm not talking about particularly race or any type of appearance or whatever, or even, but in the form of experience, because that's where most of the discrimination happens. Where they disregard the determination and by default want to see what places you worked, regardless of you even speak your knowledge of where your strongholds are at.
Who hired this guy? What the fuck?
Deadly uppercut.
I graduated almost 3 years ago. And at the time, when I just got out of school, you know, they make it seem like, oh, especially with these baby boomer generation, they think that their kids could just fucking go to college and walk off to the sunset with that degree. No, it doesn't fucking work like that. It really doesn't work like that. There's just such a hard emphasis about, there's just this, I don't know, they have this obsession where you just have to go to college to be successful. No, you don't.
Yup. That's one thing. Like with me, like with me, a lot of people tell me like, oh, that you're like it's over for your wrestling career. It's over for this and that. Like you can just do it this way, and then like, yeah, like I could, but you know, I have youth on my side. That's the thing. That's what people think. Like yeah, like in 2 years I'll be 30. Let's just put it like that. 2 years I'll be 30, but I'm working out more. I'm working out more often. Like yeah, it's not like a consistent like 4 weeks in a row type of thing, but I do it. I try to get healthy. I'm trying to do what I love, and like I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna like sugarcoat shit. I don't see school for me, like, cause what we learn in school, we don't apply it in life. The only thing that we apply is basically counting money. That's all we do. That's all we actually apply from learning from school is counting money. Yeah, we learn the common sense and blah blah and whatever the case it may be. Yes, but we naturally as human beings don't apply that to everyday life. And this is why I say that like athletes have the best fucking job. Why? Because they do what they love to do. People love playing football. People love playing soccer. People love playing rugby, or baseball, or basketball, or fucking what's that sport with the stick with the net with the ball inside of it?
Cricket? I
Not
don't know
cricket.
what you're talking about. Hockey? The net and the ball. Hockey?
No, not hockey. Not hockey.
I don't know.
It's like hockey, but you're running. You're running with a stick, holding a ball in it, and then you have to throw it.
I don't know.
I don't know either, but like some people will help me out in the channel, but I don't know. But still, regardless of the fact, like I see that they just love to do what they love to do. Boxing, yeah, a lot of people pick it up for self-defense, but they're just so naturally good at it, they can't help to become a freaking an athlete. They just can't help it. Like with me, wrestling, I dropped capoeira for that. Like I literally dropped capoeira to go and do professional wrestling. But what I did, I took some stuff that I learned from capoeira and I added into my wrestling. Like people are just naturally good at certain things. Like I'm not good at keeping a fan base, but I am good at keeping a conversation that has to deal with catching people's attention. Like that I know I'm good with. Like I know that I'm good with taking care of animals. I personally myself, if I see a hurt animal, it hurts me like to 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 be like not be around them, but to hear them suffer. You understand me? Like I have to take it to a vet. If the vet can fix the animal, then yeah, like whatever the case. If they have to dispose of it because of how much pain it's been in, it's gonna kill me because that's how I lost my dog. You understand? Like like once there's like there's nothing that we can do, then like that's painful. That's painful for me. But I'm good at taking care of animals. I'm good at feeding them. I'm good at doing all these other things. I'm good at playing video games, but I'm great at wrestling. Yeah, like I'm not like every other superstar in there, but you will say like, hey, listen, I want you to work for my company. That's all that matters to me. Like, oh, I want you to come here. Now, I want you to do this. Do you think you have the potential to be my champion? I was like, sure, why not? What do you want me to do? Oh, I want you to face this person. I want you to do this. I want you to do that. Like, all right, cool, whatever. Give me the time. Give me the time to prepare myself, and then we got a story. Right there off the bat, I'll tell you. But what I don't find out is that there are just certain people that like with mental health that don't take their fucking job seriously. They never do. There's only one person that I know that takes her job seriously, and I give a huge shout out to her. I give a huge shout out to I'm just gonna say Andy. I give her a good shout out to her. Why? Because she takes her job seriously. Why? Because she's been in the shoes. You understand? When you're in somebody's shoes, like in that type of field, when you're in that type of field and you've been in somebody's shoes, you can help somebody out. You understand me? But then I'm gonna psychologically help myself out to try to figure out what's wrong with other people. But then when other people tell you this is what's going on. This is what's going on in my life right now. Can you help me out? And then they give you some empathetic advice that might help, but might actually put more stuff into you. Not good. Not good at all. Like with myself, like I had to build most of the self-confidence by hanging out by myself, hanging out with you, hanging out with Pancake, hanging out with Matt, hanging out with Naomi. Even though that whatever happened between me and Naomi, just like it's in the history books. But regardless of the fact, I've learned stuff from you guys. I've learned stuff that you guys have spoken to me and literally made me better. It made me understand not just the world, but myself being in this world. And yeah, like I'm a little yeah when it comes down to certain things. Like yeah, like I'm not gonna sugarcoat that. Like yeah, I'm a little slow when it comes down to knowing a lot of things, but I comprehend it. Like, there's a lot of people out there in my type of field that they don't comprehend shit. Like they'll listen to you, but they don't comprehend it.
Mhm.
And that's the sad part. That's the sad part because like you try to tell them like, hey, listen, and like you should try this. You should, you know, try to help yourself. But they're so drugged up on their medication that it doesn't like compute most of the time. And I know that because I went through it. I honestly went through being that type of zombie. You understand? Um what was it? August 2012. I I tried to end my life. Like I tried to end my life, and like because I didn't know how to handle life. I didn't know how to pretty much accept what's going on with myself and go and figure out what life has to offer me. Like what, and all I've seen was like people just throwing baggage onto me, just keep throwing baggage. And then when I finally like got to a chance to really like try to understand, it it opened me up to really understand myself. Try to figure out who I am, and it took me years. Like it took me like I'll say like maybe 14, 15 years to really understand myself.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's tough, man. It's tough. Like there's just a lot of things that I'm scared of. I'm scared of myself. Like I'm scared of myself for one reason because like when when you know that when you're angry and stuff like that and blah 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 whatever, like you can do shit that you're not aware of, and that's pretty much everybody. But when you have a mentality that you've always been lost, you've always been that black sheep that wandered off and whatnot, things tend to happen, man. Things tend to happen. You start to like figure out like everything is pretty much out to get you. Like everything is just pretty much trying to dumb you down, bring you down, and make your life a little harder, like just a little harder. And then for 14, 15 years, life has gotten hard on me. Like it's just it's just now that I'm just saying like, hey, you know what? Fuck everything, and just like I'm gonna basically open up. I'm just gonna let people know who I am, what I do, and modify myself. The first thing I did, I was like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna get my lip pierced. What happened? Got my lip pierced. And like again, like a lot of people are more advanced than certain.
You said more advanced?
Yeah, more advanced. Like oh,
Yeah.
like
Well, I mean, no, that's the issue. Like you, and majority of the issue, people are not willing because of all the fear, insecurity, whatever is causing their range of low self-esteem or confidence, whatever you want to call it. They're not willing to confront that. You see, I'm no doctor, but what I do know is mental health is the source of your actions, like why you do what you do, or what or how you go about it, and whatnot. This could range from you being at peace of mind to being dangerous,
exactly,
whether it's to yourself or other people.
exactly.
And if you're not willing to take the time and see why, or to, like you said, understand yourself, you're never going to progress. You're going to stay plateaued right there until you confront those fears. Like I said before, fear is always there to tell you what you aren't capable of. It's always there to tell you what you can't do.
I do not recall
You can't do this,
accepting
you
an
can't
offer.
do that. Oh, it's always giving you that doubt in your mind.
Fight.
And they're not willing to cross that border, that path, like, and they just stay right there, and they let that emotion overwhelm them. They say, okay, I can't do it, and then they wonder why, and they wonder why they're not, that they feel the way that they do. They wonder why they feel the way that they do. But they were so caught up in trying to fit in with another crowd or being in fucking parties and all this other shit to distract you from yourself. If you think about, that word selfishness, if you really think about it, like, in today, it's seen a negative connotation. You only think about yourself, oh, I'm not willing to share my snack with you or whatever, or they're not willing to give you this or that, or they just want it for themselves, but in that sense, it's seen as bad. But if you think about it like this, if a person is so quote-unquote selfish, and it's about themselves, why don't they take the time to discover themselves then? Understand, why can't they use that trait for what it means to go discover themselves? Because after all, it's selfishness, right? So if it's about you, why don't you take that time to understand you?
Exactly. Like myself, I noticed things that when I was younger, I like going out. I like going out, seeing the wilderness, going out, taking a hike, doing all these beautiful things. And it took me to really understand. Like, it took me like, hey, like, all right, I'm gonna have a smoke. I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna really think. Like, I actually think. And I tend to see, like, there's just a lot of things that I miss that I did when I was younger. There's a lot of things that I can't do now. Like, I wanted to travel. I wanted to go to California. I wanna see people like Joseph. Like, one of the main reasons why I want to go to California is to hang out with Joseph, and then buy some natural herb, and then come back, and then go chill with you and Pancake in Florida. Like, I want to go to these places, but because of my mental health and my depression and everything, like, sometimes I'm not capable of doing that. The reason why I'm not capable of doing it is because, like, I'm always doubting myself. I'm always like, all right, if I do this, like, what's the worst case scenario? Like it's always like that, and I hate it. Like, I really do hate it. Like, even if I don't want to, like, I just, like, I'm in the happiest mood of all time, I'm still constantly thinking about that.
See, that's the issue. In order for you to be truly happy, and I mean the purest form of happiness, you can't reach the purest form of happiness without confronting those obstacles. Because they're not gonna, no one's gonna move them for you. Nobody's gonna move them. Only you can do that. Because, like, okay, think of, I got two examples for this. See, your mind, so my first example, your mind is like a world, a planet. See, like how we're on Earth, and you see how you could travel around the world. Like, you're in New York, and you got 49 other states, including 200, 300 plus other countries, probably way more than that. But that's for example's sake. So your mind is the planet, and the space that you have to travel is where your thoughts range. Your happiness is probably with you in New York, and then your sadness is way over Cali, while you have your insecurities right over there by Canada. And so, or here's an easy one: games. You see how you were just saying, you were just saying, what were you playing, Mortal Kombat?
Yeah.
And you were saying how difficult it was to fight. Were you fighting AI or a person or whoever you were fighting, or whatever you were fighting? Right? Now imagine that difficulty, whatever was giving you that difficult issue. Let's say that insecurity took form as a boss. But unless you beat that boss, you cannot progress through the rest of the game. Now, unless you confront that boss, which is the insecurity in your mind, you cannot progress meant to be mentally stronger than you were before. That's why I'm so interested in games, especially Neo. Especially this game. That's why I haven't dropped this game. I'm very patient for it.
Round one, fight.
Oh, that this boss took a form of a dragon, and this insecurity took form of a demon. And then while the other one, the self-esteem, took form of a zombie. Or the fear took form of, or some other shit. You get the point. But until you fight them and beat them, you cannot progress forward. Or another way to look at it is to see what makes you fear them so much. So this is another thing people reasoning out there. Fear. Sometimes people don't even know why they fear it so much, or they can't beat that boss.
Fight.
You know what? I'm actually like reading like with certain things like you know about like prophecies and stuff like that, right?
I'm vague on that.
All right, so let's just say in my own little world, like I tend to see prophecies and shit like that, like things that shouldn't happen and things that happen that causes like uh, um, worldly events. So because of that, like I'm scared. Like I'm actually scared. Like if what happens if I do this way, and then something happens, and then because of that something else happens that has nothing to do with that scenario. Like oh like a hurricane hit New York. Let's just say like a hurricane hit New York because I had a seizure. Let's just put it like that. I had a seizure, and a hurricane hit New York. Because of that, I start freaking the fuck out. Like I'll just like freak the fuck out. Like for example, like let's just say that we're hanging out, right? And you get a cut on your hand, and because I'm around you, and you got that cut, like a sinkhole happens. Just like it's just those scenarios that come into my mind that just makes me like kind of iffy. Like oh, I don't want to really hang out with people. Like I just want to stay by myself and whatnot. Like I try to live as freely as possible, to like just try to go places and whatnot, and try not to think about that. But like, it's always something. Like I always see something. Like
You see, that's the issue. You say you try not to think about it, meaning you disregard it and hide it. So when you just disregard, if I just covered the blanket, the insecurity with the blanket, it's still gonna be under the blanket, which is what you're doing by hiding it. Until somehow it slips out or falls out, then it'll come back again. It's gonna be there unless it's confronted, unless you have to resolve it. It's gonna stay there.
true. And like that's what a lot of people don't tend to understand when it comes down to people with mental health or people with mind problems. Yeah, like I have this scenario that always happens in my head that like that if let's say for example I end up in a hospital because I got beat up. Because of that happening, I feel like it's like instant karma. Like, you understand? Like it's like this is what happened.
Hold on.
All right.
Fight. Finish him. Mercy. Finish him. Fatality. Sub-Zero wins.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will continue this again on another episode of Don't Worry About It. You feel me? Later.